Good morning, CPAC. How's everybody today? You're looking beautiful. And I tell you what, honey, I've been here several days. The energy and the excitement in this room is unbelievable. It's hard to believe that a year has gone. Thank God we lived with 4 years of a president who tried to shove down our throats Marxism and the moral decay of the fabric of our country. And here we are. Fast forward. We got President Donald J. Trump. We have 2 genders. We have DEI gone. We have equality over equity, border crossings down 93%. And we have a world stage where America is now respected and feared. So what do you think? Give me your 2 seconds on this.
Pretty good. Next question. How is everybody? Come on, let's go. It's exciting times, is it not? Well, I was thinking about something about this cabinet that we have now, and thought to myself, we really have a cabinet that looks like America here. First of all, we have a president that knows how many grandchildren he has, and he loves every one of them. That helps. But let's look at this cabinet. We have the first, I'm sounding like a liberal. We have the first person of color as the FBI director. Have you heard them say that? No. First Cuban American as Secretary of State. The first gay Secretary of the Treasury. The first straight Secretary of Transportation in 4 years. We have one of the highest ranking African Americans, Elon Musk. We have the first hillbilly Vice President, J.D. Vance. We have the first Secretary of Defense who is 114 years old. We have women in the cabinet who are proud to be called women and know what the hell a woman is. And then there's Donald Trump, who's on course of being the greatest president, if not modern history, all history. Look what he's done in 4 weeks.
Bravo, bravo. Give a round of applause.
And one other thing about Donald Trump. I told Donald Trump this at a Hanukkah party a few years ago. He's the greatest friend Israel's ever had. And so are you, by the way, and I want to thank you for that. He's the greatest friend Jews have ever had, so we have the first Jewish president in American history, too. Looks like America, that cabinet.
So speaking of that, first of all, I want to do a real sincere shout-out to Mercy and Matt Schlapp, because their steadfast support of Israel is seen throughout this conference and day in and day out at CPAC. So we really need to thank them for that. It's really, really huge. You know, there used to be a time that depravity, murder, brutality was not acceptable to either party, when Republicans and Democrats alike were determined to eradicate the enemy. But here we are after an October 7, where we really learned what today's Democrat Party is. It's the Republican Party, it's conservatives, it's Jews, it's Christians who really care about what's going on in Israel and are appalled at the heinous acts that happened on October 7th. It's the Republicans, it's the conservatives, it's Donald J. Trump who have said Israel must conquer, Israel must win, Israel must do what it needs to do, not just to defend, but to go on offense and get rid of the enemy. So I just want to remind everybody that a year ago, I interviewed the father of a hostage victim at that time, Sagid Deckelhen, and here we are a year later. He's out. But, honey, I want you to talk about what we saw the other day with 4 bodies coming out of Israel and the joy that was exhibited by the Palestinians in Gaza as these coffins were shown.
These bastards must be eradicated. It's that simple. You don't take a 9-month-old baby and a 4-year-old little boy and their mother and torture them, strangle those kids with your bare hands, chop up their bodies so nobody they think will notice. Remember when that mother was being pulled with her kids and she knew the people doing this are subhumans. They are rabid. They're not animals. Animals don't do this. Donald Trump knows this. These are the same people who attacked us on 9/11. These are the same people who decapitated 70 black Christians in a Congo church 48 hours ago. All of them. This is the enemy. It's not about land. It's not about borders. It's not about any of that. They seek to extinguish us. These Islamist terrorists. And we're going to have to extinguish them before they even have a shot at extinguishing us. Another thing. Constitutional crisis. Give me a break. The Democrat Party that hates the founders, that is pushing CRT, the 1619 Project, that tells us the Constitution's too old and too white. The Democrat Party that doesn't believe in the First, Second, Fifth, Sixth, Ninth, 10th, 14th Amendments. The Democrat Party that doesn't believe in separation of powers. We don't need lectures from them about the Constitution of the United States. That's number one. Number two, you activist judges, which are basically slip and fall, ambulance chasing lawyers in black robes. That's what they are. You either act like judges or get the hell off the bench. You are the people destroying the Constitution. The President of the United States has a right to make personnel decisions. He has a right to make budget decisions. He has a right to restructure the bureaucracy. You know, I happen to have here a copy of the Constitution.
Not that you need it. I mean, you really do pretty much
This
know
little
it.
baby sticks with me all the time. And let me tell you something. You know how many federal district judges are in this Constitution? None. They're created by Congress. That's right. So Congress has the power to make decisions over the executive branch. I thought it was separation of powers. Judges have the power to tell the CDC what to put on their website? How's that separation of powers? We have a big problem in this country. We can't decide if we're a constitutional republic, a federal republic, a representative republic, or a republic at all. And the truth is that if they have their way, the people who are worried about the Constitution, first of all, what Constitution are they worried about? The old Soviet Constitution? Because they're sure as hell not worried about our Constitution, that I can tell you. You can't be a Marxist, an Islamist, a radical leftist, and support the Constitution of the United States. You just can't. What Elon Musk, with the leadership of Donald Trump, have uncovered is a government within a government. It's not just waste, fraud, and abuse. It is a subterranean government that is spending trillions of dollars to push a radical left agenda. And we have no help from you in the media who are attacking the very people who are uncovering the bloat and the spending and the waste and the criminality. Why the hell aren't you uncovering it? That's your damn job.
Well, and it's the same media that likes to avail itself of the First Amendment, right, when it's convenient. So,
oh, can I?
Yeah.
AP and the rest of you big corporate media, it says freedom of the press. It doesn't say freedom of the corporate press, okay? The President of the United States can decide which press he wants in the press room and which he doesn't. Who died and gave you permanent seats in the press room? NBC and ABC and CBS. Besides, we don't get news from you people. I wrote a whole book on it called Unfreedom of the Press. You're Democrats, you're leftists, we know exactly who you are, what you're doing. You can do whatever you want on your own time. You can pretend you're in the press. we're not going to shut you down. We want you out there. Why? We want the schmucks out front so everybody can see what they look like.
Well,
that's okay.
And not only that, what happened on November 5th? I mean, November 5th proved that the American people are not fooled by the people back there, and they know and they're able to find the truth because Americans are smart and they know American values, they know right from wrong, and no media is going to change that. So, look, we don't have a lot of time.
By the way, I know I can't stop.
No, but wait. I'm going to let you say something, but I do want to, I need you to reserve, because remember, I'm the boss here. I'm the boss.
30 seconds.
I need you to reserve time to talk about the misnomer that is birthright citizenship.
I will deal with that. Takes about 14 seconds. But
No.
You know, the media are funny, aren't they? They lied about Joe Biden. They didn't care. They didn't have any press conferences. And now they're worried about a seat at the table. They're worried about a seat for what? Let me tell you something in the media. Do we agree that Abraham Lincoln was a fantastic president?
Yes.
He was a great president. He shut down 200 newspapers. Donald Trump hasn't shut down anything. You're going broke because we, the people, are shutting you down. We're not subscribing. We're not buying your damn newspapers. We're not watching your TV shows. We support the First Amendment. We support free speech. We support freedom of the press. You don't.
How do you really feel about it, honey? No, just kidding. Okay, so now seriously, I think we need
She's pretty.
We need to talk about birthright citizenship because, again, this is a perfect example of what the left do. They take words like democracy and the Constitution, and then they exploit them because they don't really care about either of them. So they came up with this term, birthright citizenship, like anybody who comes here illegally and gives birth, that child, that baby, is an American citizen like magic. And that's not true. They cite the 14th Amendment. Do your Mark Levin thing where you give a little bit of a primer. No, because it's really important. It was so taken hostage, this paragraph in the 14th Amendment.
First of all, I wore the wrong socks, honey. I'm showing a little ankle up here. I'm not showing any more.
Okay, so I wasn't going to bring an intention to
All right, let me do it. I've been talking about this for 20 years. Read it yourself. Where's the phrase birthright citizenship in the Constitution? It's right next to abortion. It doesn't exist. So they have this invisible pen, you know, where they write these things in. The 14th Amendment was passed like the 13th and the 15th because of slavery and the Civil War. And the country came together and said, we must, in the Constitution, fix this. We must give equal rights to human beings who have been held as slaves and are now free. We must give them all the protections and rights of a citizen of the United States. Jurisdiction thereof meant the black slaves who were now free were in the jurisdiction of the United States, and all the rights and privileges, including equality and all the rest, would apply to them. It was written by Republican senators. The 14th Amendment was based, this aspect of it, based on the 1866 Civil Rights Act, the first Civil Rights Act. Andrew Johnson, who was then president after the assassination of Lincoln, was a Democrat. He refused to sign that civil rights bill. So they overrode him and they said, we need to enshrine this in the Constitution of the United States. That provision applied to black people who were freed from slavery and were still being abused in the old Confederacy. And that amendment was passed by 3/4 of the state legislatures, including southern states that were told, if you don't vote for this, you're not coming back into the Union. We know what they meant. The author of the 14th Amendment specifically rejected the idea of aliens, specifically. In fact, they rejected the idea of what they called Indians, because they had separate countries at the time, or at least it was viewed that way. So they were excluded. Underscoring the fact that you had to be a United States citizen and understood to be. So people who write that, all of a sudden, now it's interpreted to mean if you come into the United States illegally and you have a baby, that's a citizen, that baby? There is literally no language to back it up, no legislative history to back it up, no history whatsoever to back it up, and yet I suspect the courts are going to give the birthright citizenship crowd what they want. And they'll mention some 1898 decision involving a Chinese couple. It still didn't apply to illegal aliens. So illegal aliens have no constitutional basis, but I will just warn you about this. Hollywood John Roberts, that's what I call him because he's worried about the press. I don't think he, and I don't think his new best friend Barrett, will do the right thing. I think they'll join the three, I can't say women, because she wouldn't say women. They won't join.
That's okay, you can say it, go for it.
Two of the non-males, and one of the males. I think that's a five that worries me. But just understand, your Constitution does not provide for birthright citizenship, period.
So I just want to add one little fine point because you said a lot. You said a lot there. You notice how it's the Republican Party that consistently has been the champion of equality and the rights of black people throughout history. Every
major civil rights bill, starting in 1866 through the 50s with Eisenhower, the 60s, the Republicans either wrote it, sponsored it, or they had supermajorities to get them passed. Never forget, the Democrat Party is the party of slavery, segregation, eugenics, Jim Crow. Now they're the party of Marxism, Islamism, and anti-constitutionalism. That's a fact.
And it was Woodrow Wilson who did what? He resegregated the military when he became president.
God bless you all. Our time is up. Be well.
We love you, CPAC.
And thank you, President Trump.